So, what if I told you that the most powerful tool to fight cancer isn't in some high-tech lab, but it's actually right there on your dinner plate? Today, we're going to explore the incredible, research-backed link between the food we eat and our body's amazing ability to prevent cancer. Let's dive in.
I want to kick things off with just one number, a single statistic that might honestly change how you look at your very next meal. Research has found that vegetarians are a staggering 50% less likely to develop cancer than meat eaters. I mean, think about that for a second. That's not a small difference, it's a huge one. And we need to understand why.
So, what is the secret weapon hiding on a vegetarian's plate? Right? That's the big question we're going to unpack today. And here's a hint. It's not about some single magical miracle food. It's about a really powerful dietary pattern that helps build a stronger defense system from the inside out.
And this all leads to a really crucial idea. You have so much more control over your cancer risk than you probably think. A huge portion of cancer-related deaths are actually tied to our lifestyle choices, and what we put on our plate is a massive part of that equation. This is all about taking back control, one meal at a time.
This quote from the research just says it all perfectly. Food isn't just about fuel or calories, it's a daily opportunity. Every single day, you get to choose whether you're going to feed potential problems or fortify your body's own natural defenses. It's that powerful.
Okay, so what is the single most important principle of an anti-cancer diet? Well, it really all comes down to one powerful concept: building your meals on a plant-based foundation. Let's break down what that actually means in practice.
Now, when you hear plant-based, don't panic. It doesn't mean you have to go full vegetarian or vegan overnight. It just means making whole foods from plants the star of your meal. So think a whole apple instead of processed apple juice. Basically, the closer the food is to its natural state, the less it's been messed with, the more protective power it has.
And if you want a super simple visual way to put this into action, just remember the 2/3 plate rule. At every single meal, just try to fill at least 2/3 of your plate with things like vegetables, whole grains, and beans. It's such an easy little mental checklist to have every time you cook or serve yourself a meal.
All right, knowing the rule is great, but how do we actually make it happen in our busy lives? Well, let's break it down into 3 simple, really high-impact swaps you can start making today. These will fundamentally shift your diet for the better. First up, let's talk about fiber. I want you to think of fiber as your body's internal cleanup crew. It literally helps move cancer-causing compounds out of your digestive system before they have a chance to cause any trouble. So the move here is simple. Just trade those processed white foods for their awesome, high-fiber, whole-grain versions. Second, we've got to get strategic with our protein. Things like processed meats and red meat are often high in saturated fat, which, you guessed it, has been linked to an increased cancer risk. The smart swap is to choose leaner proteins like fish and chicken, or even better, tap into the amazing power of plant-based proteins like beans and lentils.
And our third big swap is all about fats, because not all fats are created equal, not by a long shot. We definitely want to steer clear of the saturated and trans fats that are common in things like red meat and a lot of packaged fried foods. Instead, we want to focus on protective, unsaturated fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, and nuts. These are the good guys that actually help fight inflammation in your body.
Okay, so choosing the right foods, that is a huge step. That's half the battle, but it's not the whole battle. How you cook those foods can make all the difference. You can either preserve their cancer-fighting power or accidentally get rid of it. You've probably heard the phrase, eat the rainbow, and it's not just a catchy slogan, it's legit science. Those different colors represent different types of antioxidants and phytochemicals. And don't forget your spice rack. Adding immune-boosting spices like garlic, ginger, and turmeric is an amazing way to add a punch of both flavor and protection. Here is a super simple but really critical tip. To get the most benefit out of your produce, try to enjoy some of your fruits and veggies raw. And when you do cook your vegetables, try lightly steaming them. When you boil vegetables really hard, you can end up stripping away a lot of those valuable vitamins you were trying to get in the first place.
And listen up, because this one is a biggie, especially with grilling season. Burning or charring meats, even lean ones at really high temperatures, can actually create carcinogenic compounds. As you can see from this list, grilling pretty much any meat until it's well done is a habit we really want to avoid. If you can, opt for lower heat cooking methods like baking or steaming. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's pull all of this together and distill it down into a simple, straightforward action plan to make these changes a real, sustainable part of your life, starting right now.
Look, the most important thing to remember is this. You don't have to completely overhaul your entire diet overnight. That's just not realistic. Start small. Take a look at these first steps. Maybe tonight, you just add one extra colorful veggie to your dinner. That's it. Small, consistent changes are what build powerful, lasting habits.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question. I want you to forget about some big, scary overhauls. Just ask yourself, what is one small, simple change you can make to your plate today? Because really, the whole journey to better health, it starts with that single bite.